Now, what do we mean by this? Consider the verb shalak. Okay? Is that monitor on? What does shalak mean?
Send.
All right, it has the idea of to send, right? Now, when we see it conjugated as shalak, what conjugation is this? This, you don't know any better, it's the kal, right? The form is not just kal, but perfect third singular masculine. Translate shalak, he, basic meaning, past tense now, sent. Okay? Here's another point. If you see the verb form pointed shilach, you see that we have a vowel pointing you've never seen before, right? You don't know any perfect third singular masculine that starts with an I vowel. In fact, we've talked about that A vowel being rather distinctive of the perfect. Well, so now you know it's really distinctive of the kal perfect. What this is a different conjugation called the pi'el. And you'll see the I vowel there. That's the I vowel that you're going to get in the first syllable of the pi'el. Here's another point. Oh, and how do we translate this? Now, in general, and I'll talk about how the conjugations affect the meanings of the verb, as a very, very general, probably over-generalized explanation, the pi'el has a sense of intensifying the verbal meaning. And here's what we mean by that. If shalak, now here's a question you get asked a lot. All right, the verbal root is shalak, it's in the kal. It's not just what does shalak mean, it's what does shalak mean in the kal. Most verbs have their basic fundamental underlying meaning in the kal because the kal is the basic or simplest conjugation. In fact, some grammar books use just letter designators, and they call the B, the kal conjugation, the B stem for base or basic. If you know German, the German grammars called it the G stem, which stood for Grundstamm, which means basic or foundational stem system. All right? The kal is the basic stem. By the way, have we had the verb kalal? Okay, forget it. There is a verb kal, and it means light or simple, easy. And that's where this conjugation got its name from. It's sort of the basic, simple conjugation. All right, that's all footnote stuff. Now I said it's not just knowing what does shalak mean, but what does shalak mean in the kal. Now the question is, what does shalak mean in the pi'el? And the answer is, it means send with intensity. All right, that's an arbitrary sort of overgeneralization, and we'll find out that many verbs don't follow this sort of simple pattern. But as a starting point, shalak in the pi'el means to send away with force. It can mean expel. Do you see that we've changed the word in English from send to expel, but the word is the same in Hebrew, it's shalak. There's an example of how the conjugation will not really change, but simply alter in some way the understanding of the word. Here's another conjugation. Do you see that in the form nishlak, we have the same root shalak with a nun prefix? Now, we've seen a nun prefix before, haven't we? Here's where it can get confusing, right? We've seen the nun prefix as a mark of imperfect, not just imperfect, but imperfect first plural. You know all that when you see a nun. The nun is also used as a conjugational prefix. This conjugation is called the nifal because it starts with a nun. And the nifal is essentially a passive conjugation. So recognizing that probably from context that this form is not an imperfect but a perfect third singular masculine, which it is, you don't have to know this yet, but for the sake of illustration, trust me, this is a nifal perfect third singular masculine. How would you translate this? if shalak means send, and the nifal brings a passive sense to the verb, we've still got the perfect third singular masculine. We haven't changed tense here. It's still past tense. Put all that together, and what do you get? He was sent. Right? There's your passive. Okay? Do you get the idea of what's going on here with different conjugations? Just to try the same exercise with a different verb, let's try it with our regular paradigm verb, katal. Okay? Katal, we've learned, means kill. That's why the verb is used more for its regular forms than its meaning. We now know that katal is the kal perfect third singular masculine. Translate katal. He killed. Translate katail. Now, do you remember we talked about this one, that Hirek vowel, and note the dagesh forte in the middle root letter. That's another peculiarity.